Thank you for joining us for Done on Linux, where we will discuss and show the many things that you can do on Linux today. Today we're going to talk about safe computing. What is safe computing? It is simply this: keep your system up to date. Computer code is always changing, and as bugs and security holes are discovered, which all software has them, you need to keep your computer, and more importantly, your personal data safe by updating your system. Your Linux desktop operating system will notify you when it's time for an update. Currently, you can see in the upper panel a notification to update the system via the software updater. We can update this system quickly by taking advantage of this tool. Just click and go. And unlike updates on Windows, Linux updates are far less painful. Rarely do you have to even reboot after a Linux system update. A reboot is usually only required when the Linux kernel is updated. And when you do a reboot, that's it. The system does not return to a screen that says, wait, we're still updating, hang on, like it so often does with Windows. And Linux system updates are fast. The other advantage to Linux system updates is that it also updates the software that's installed on your system, not just the operating system itself. So we're going to show you two ways that you can update your system. First is via this, as I mentioned, the software updater. Click on it, it's already here, it's telling us, hey, you have some updates to be installed. If you want to know what those updates are, you can click on this details of updates right here, and it'll tell you, hey, you have some security updates to the Ubuntu base system. If you want to see details on that, you can expand that out and take a look at that and read what those are that it's going to install. It's okay if you don't understand them, it's fine. It's going to do some updates to software updater and some more to the Ubuntu base. But up here at the top, these are the main security updates that it's talking about. And so this is important to do. We can go ahead and just do all of these. They're already all selected. We just click on Install Now, and it'll just take off and install our updates and update our system for us. And that's one way of doing it. That's all you need to do with that. Okay, and once our system is done updating, it'll tell us software on this computer is up to date. And go ahead and we'll just click OK, and that's that. Now, the other way that we can do updates is just by doing it ourselves. We can come down into the menu here. We can go to Settings, scroll down, and we can start the software updater by ourselves. Click on Software Updater, and it'll go out and it'll check for updates for us. So you can do this anytime you want. You don't have to wait until the system says their updates are ready. If you want to check on your own, you can, and there you go. The other way that you can do this, though, is by opening a terminal, and you can issue these commands: sudo update, enter your password, and it'll go out and it'll update the package list and see if there are any updates, and it tells us yes, there are 12 packages that can be upgraded. Now it hasn't done anything yet. Now we need to tell it, okay, go ahead and do the upgrade. So we issue a second command, sudo apt upgrade. Hit enter, and it's going to say, okay, these are the following packages that will be upgraded, and it tells you how many, it tells you how much space they're going to take, etc. So yes, we want to continue. We can just press enter, and it'll continue, and it'll download those new packages and install them on the system. So those are the two ways you can install it. You can use the software updater that's built into the operating system's desktop environment, or you can bring up a terminal session like this and run those two commands to update your system yourself. They both do the same thing, and they'll help you keep your system safe and up to date. So I recommend that you do this on a regular basis. And at the very least, that if you see your update notification prompting you for an update, that you go ahead and do it. I have lost count of the number of times that I have done updates in Linux while I was working on other things. I did not have to shut down a single app. I didn't have to reboot the system. Updates are just handled much better on Linux than they have ever been on Windows. And like I said, rarely do you have to reboot. If it's a kernel update, which is part of the core system, then usually you will have to reboot for those. But it is just that, a single reboot You log back in and you get back to work. It doesn't finish doing updates after the reboot like Windows often does, and it doesn't take forever and a day to do updates. It's pretty quick. So that's software updates. That's keeping your system up to date. So that's software updates done on Linux.